Welcome. My name is Sarah Cohn. I'm a reference librarian, and today in this video, I'm just going to go over a little bit of an introduction and some sort of basic concepts in doing research in education. So let's get started. All right, so the things that I'm going to cover, I'm going to talk about interlibrary loan, search terms for your topic, some search strategies, so what you can do with those terms, which library databases are going to be most useful for you, and then how to get help, of course. So interlibrary loan is a service that the library has where you can request articles and book chapters that we don't have access to. And once we're back on campus, you can use it to request print books as well. So I really encourage everyone to set up their interlibrary loan account. You can do that by going to the library homepage, then using the services drop-down menu, and then interlibrary loan, and follow the instructions for first-time users if you don't already have an account. There is a field when you fill out your form for the first time that will ask you for your barcode. If you don't have a barcode, you can use your MPOL. So either way. And if you have questions about interlibrary loan, feel free to get in touch with me. My contact information is at the end of this tutorial. But it's really helpful. So when you're looking for things and you find something that you want but we don't have, you fill out the interlibrary loan form, and we work with partner libraries to hopefully get the article or book chapter for you. All right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about search terms. So this is an important first step in thinking about your research project. So you want to consider, what's your main topic? What is like the main thing that you're going to be writing about? And then what are the specifics? So are there sub areas of what you're going to be looking at? And then what are the different ways to describe your topic? So when we're doing research, we often have an idea in our head of like what we mean by a certain word, or the kinds of articles that we hope or expect to find. However, database, being a algorithm and not a sentient entity, doesn't know what we mean. So we have to be really explicit when we do our searching. So that's why thinking about all the different ways to describe your topics and your topic and the different specific aspects that you're interested in are really helpful. All right. So once you've got a list, hopefully, of search terms, either written down or just sort of held mentally, it's time to think about what to do with those search terms. So the first thing is, you don't use a full sentence to ask a library database a question. So you want to break it down into your individual search terms, which is why I think it's really helpful to have a list first. So you might have a question about how does active learning help students understand math concepts, right? That's your question. But you want to break it down into the separate components and then connect those with and. So students and active learning and math. You could have math concepts here. But thinking about sort of really breaking down your search, I think is really helpful. You can also use or to connect synonyms or words used interchangeably. So students or pupils and active learning and math. And or, if you use or in a search, you're going to get a lot more results. So just be aware that or can be a really expansive search. You can also break this into two separate searches. So I could do one search for students and active learning and math, and then a second search for pupils and active learning and math. Or I can combine them using OR. So that's how you would use OR. Quotation marks for phrases or names. So putting quotation marks around 2 or more words tells the database to search for those words together as a phrase. It just glues them together instead of searching for them wherever they happen to appear. So you don't need quotation marks for single words. You don't need them necessarily for 2 or more words, but I find that it can be really helpful, especially if you have a phrase that has a specific meaning, like within your research, but has a lot of commonly used words. So something like active learning or social media, right? Those things have specific meanings, and quotation marks can really help you narrow your search. And I usually encourage folks to try searching both with and without quotation marks and see which way you get better results. So if you have more than one variable, you can try searching for them one at a time. You don't have to, of course, but sometimes it helps to break out your components. So maybe you're looking at art education in early childhood or elementary school and special education. So instead of searching for special education and early childhood and art, you could kind of break those down. So just looking at searching for special education and art, and then maybe looking just at early childhood education and art, and then combining them all. So sometimes it just helps you get like a broader feel for the research on your topic if you've broken down your variables. Database filters. So we will take a look at some databases and their filters, but they have a lot of tools to help you really focus down or narrow your search. And these are really helpful tools because a lot of times our searches just return a lot of results and it's hard to figure out what is going to be most useful. So getting familiar with the different filters can alleviate a lot of the frustration that can come along with searching in library databases. And then cited references and time cited. This is another tool that's available in most, but not all, databases. So what it does, cited references will show you a linked list of citations from an article. So you can see the articles that author cited. And then if they're available in that database, you can just click right through to them. And then, so that's going to show you older research. And then times cited is going to show you newer research. So that's going to show you articles that have cited the particular article that you're looking at. So this is called reference mining or citation mining. And it's a really helpful way if you find an article that you think is like super useful right on your topic, you can quickly find both older and newer research on the same topic. And that can be a really productive and like useful way to find a lot more relevant content. All right, so now you have some idea of what kinds of strategies you can use. So what databases should you be looking at? Good question. So the two main education-specific databases that the library have are Education Source and ERIC. So I will show you Education Source and some specifics on how to use that, but it's a good starting place for most education research. And then the library also has a number of multidisciplinary databases, so databases that cover a wide range of topics, and some that have a lot of education content in them are OneSearch, Academic OneFile, and JSTOR. So those are good places to look as well. But there's lots of other subject-specific databases that you might find helpful. So sociology databases or psychology databases, there's often content overlap between fields. So you can definitely take a look in some of those as well. And you can see a list of recommended databases for education at library.ccny.cuny.edu/education. And there is a page for peer-reviewed articles that lists education-specific databases and multidisciplinary databases and other subject-specific databases. So you can kind of take a look through those. There is some content overlap between databases, but there's also a lot of content that is only available in specific databases. So part of doing the research is trying different databases and kind of seeing what's out there in the different databases. All right, so that was a really quick overview of getting started in research. So if you have questions, you can ask me, your friendly librarian, Sarah. Feel free to send me an email and ask questions about education research or other types of research that you're working on. And we also have a virtual reference desk, so you can get live help from a librarian via chat on our website, Monday through Thursday until 8 p.m., Friday until 6, and Saturday from 10 to 2. So those are all really good options if you need help with research. So again, this is just like a super quick overview to get you started. And we will go a little more in depth into some of these concepts and how to use the databases soon. All right. Thank you very much. And if you have a question, please don't hesitate to ask.